Welcome to Kikiriki Talks.
Bonjour.
Kamar Joba.
Kikiriki Talks. Let's kiki about Kikiriki. Welcome to Kikiriki Talks episode 2.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Caroline. Today we are going to talk about education and specifically high school.
We will mostly talk about our own experience, but we want to say that a lot has changed in the educational system since we graduated. So we will talk a little bit about that too, but mostly about our own experience.
I graduated in 2014. When did you?
I graduated in 2015.
I'm the old one. So, what did you graduate exactly about? Like, what were your topic? Did you have any specialty?
Oh, no. In Georgia, you don't get to choose any specialty while you are in the high school. You just get all the general subjects, like science and humanitarian and technological subjects. And you just have to learn and then pass all of the subjects to finish the school. It's not like, for example, you don't get to choose your specific field 2 or 1 year before graduating high school. You choose it after you go to university. So it's not like you choose a technical field or humanitarian field. No, you just study everything and then you just make your own decision of what you want to study in the future.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Friends, you actually have 3 types of high school. You have the professional one. If you are not made for studies, you can go to this kind of high school and you are ready to work right after graduating around 17 or 18. You can study stuff like social care or cooking and stuff like that. You have technological high school. We say techno. It's for shorter studies. It's between the general and the pro. And I went to the general. If you are average, you go to general. I would say most people go to general. And then you get to choose after your first year of high school what series, that's how we call it, you are going to do. So we had 3 series. You had science called S, economical and social called ES, and literature called L. Yeah, that was how it worked, and the names are pretty telling, so you know what you go into, but it has own mythology, like the L people are the artsy and edgy and probably are gonna stay unemployed their whole life because only science is worth. It's a bit like the way of thinking in France nowadays. Economical and social is more about like doing business stuff, but I did that and I'm completely not interested into business, so yeah. And science was kind of the elite thing to do. It was the hardest. I mean, unless you are really easy with science, you would get it super easily, but people who were not interested in science would still go there because it was like the thing that you have to do if you want to be able to do anything after high school. It was really the elite thing.
Oh, you mentioned the professional field of high school. We have something similar to that. So you can finish your studies after 9 years of school, so basically in the middle school. And then after that, you can go to what we call college. So you go to college and then you just study something like cooking or woodworking and stuff like that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Professional. You can still do it after you finish high school fully, of course, but the lowest grade you can start is finishing the 9th grade. And then, for example, if you study in college after 9 years and you finish the college, then you get the right to also apply for the university.
There was this joke for the French series, as I told you. So it would be that the people in S would create the paper, the people in ES would sell it, and the people in L would sleep on it in the streets. Or other version of that same joke, they would use it to smoke, the L ones. So yeah, you can really tell there was this, I don't know, discrimination or something. Like, you know, like if someone is in L or S, like it puts you in some special mindset.
Yeah, that's totally unfamiliar for Georgian case.
So what was your favorite subject?
I didn't have a specific favorite subject. because my parents were super strict, so they always wanted me to have highest grades in every subject. So I just had to know and do homework for everything. But I really enjoyed studying English and art too. We had an art history, and for my case, I was lucky because I had a good teacher, and she was really committed, and she would teach us everything, even though I was the only one who really enjoyed it. But that is like a rare case because subjects like art and music are not really taken care of. For example, my sister is in high school right now and she doesn't know anything about art history or music history. It really depends on the specific teacher. What about you?
I loved art history, but for me it was an option. We were very few kids doing it because it was on Wednesday afternoon, so nobody wanted to take that shift. But I liked it. We went to the museums and I learned a fair share of cool stuff. And the exam was an oral, and you always do your oral exams on other high school.
Oh.
Yeah, you never get to do any oral exam in your own high school, I remember. And so I went to do my art history in the bougiest area of Paris. It's a high school called Janson de Seille. I don't know how it sounds for you, but
sounds like a designer brand.
No, it's very, very, very it's one of the oldest high school of Paris. It was in the 16th arrondissement, which is the bougiest and the oldest one. It's in the west of Paris, and historically west is richer. And so I went there with my mom, I remember. It was a huge high school, and I was talking with some girl who I didn't know, obviously. We were waiting for this exam, and I was like, oh my god, how bougie is this high school? And the girl was actually from another high school of the 16th arrondissement. So she was from 2 blocks away, and she was like, oh yeah. And it was weird, but it was a fun experience. And then I got to do a lot of shopping with my mom. So it was a good memory.
Was it like Hogwarts?
No. Paris is too crowded to afford a Hogwarts high school. No, but it was like a very old kind of hôtel particulier.
Oui, oui.
Does it make sense? A very, very old building that was probably owned by only one person, even though now it's the size of something that could contain, 20 apartments. Okay. And you had a inner garden, and it was so vintage. It was really like a movie. It was cool. I enjoyed having my oral there.
We have one really old school in Tbilisi that everybody calls Georgian Hogwarts. It is made in a very classical Gothic style. It's very beautiful. It was a special gymnasium only for girls at the beginning of the 19th century, and the building is still okay, and now it's the school it's a public school, but it's with the specialty of German. Yeah, everybody wants to go to that school because from outside especially
for the aesthetic.
Yeah, it's very
dreamy,
dark academia.
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, there is this high school next to my parents' area, so in the suburbs of Paris, that inspired a very famous kids show in France. It's a cartoon. It was my favorite show, and actually I know a few people who went there, and it's really literally exactly the same high school. It was built by Napoleon, I believe. I don't know, it's super old, and it's in a big park, and the nature is really pretty. And because it's not in Paris, they can afford some green space. So my high school was quite ugly at the beginning, and then they were making a lot of work for my second year, and my last year was in the new building. So I was on the exact generation to see the whole transition.
Yeah, besides this one Gothic building, Georgian schools are mostly big blocks, squares, and sometimes you get a stadium, sometimes you don't, and most of them are actually pink, and I don't know why. But if you want to know if the certain building is a school, if it's pink, there is a 90% chance that it's a high school.
Okay. Oh, it reminds me that we actually did a special physical education zone, a kind of stadium, the whole circle to run around. But they did not put the right material on the ground, so we were not allowed to actually run there because it was, I don't know, too dangerous if we fell or something. So after they made this brand new sport zone. We had to actually go somewhere 20 minutes away from the high school to do sport. Like, oh my god, that was a fail.
Oh yeah, I went to 3 different schools. In my second school, we did not have like any field or any stadium. So every time we had the physical education class, our teacher would gather all of us and we would go to a random stadium in some district near our school, and we had to like cross a bunch of roads, and we were like in the seventh or sixth grade. So it was like chaotic because my teacher had to control like 20 teenagers who were running around on the streets and trying to keep them away from like getting hit by a car. But it was it was always fun.
Sounds chaotic.
Oh yeah, it was. And we really enjoyed because boys would play football just on the stadium, and we girls would like go to the shop and buy snacks and just walk around and judge people. So, and at the time it was really popular to have your music on your phone, like loud in the streets.
Yeah.
So we also did that.
Cool kids.
Yeah, we're like cringe kids, but it was the trend back then.
Did you have any possibility to learn language in a more deep way?
Oh, well, for my last 6 years of school, I went to a private school, and they had this specialty. I'm doing the brackets right now of foreign languages, but it was basically just English, and you just had to get lucky with a teacher. If you got a good teacher, then you would learn really a lot and really like good quality English. But if you got like a meh teacher, then it wasn't like a general thing of the school, even though officially it was. And for my first 2 years in the school, I got a really good teacher, so she really taught us all the grammar you can get. And then from that, I just went by myself. Okay. It really depends on the specific schools and on the specific teachers. I used to love biology. I was crazy about biology because I had this amazing teacher who would take us to laboratories. We would do like bacteria swabs and then study them in the microscope, and then we did this whole big conference about it. But then she had to leave, and we got this like, I don't want to say
the S word.
The S word. But she was not like a smart teacher, and then everybody just had to hate the subject, which is unfair. If not for that, I might have even passed biology as my examination subject. So
you would be inventing a vaccine right now.
Yes, the Pfizer.
Well, we had a bunch of language options. I did section for German, so I actually had as much German as English during all middle school and high school. And in high school, I even had 1 hour every week of non-linguistic class in German, so it was history and geography.
Oh.
Yeah. And now I forgot all of my German. Yay. You can even graduate from the double diploma between the German and French one, or the Italian and French one, if you go to some special high school who provide it, like offer it.
Oh.
I had the level under that. I was just like very pushed towards German and German culture in general, like German history. I went to Berlin with my class. I had a correspondent and stuff like that for my first year of high school. And also my high school was offering Chinese, Italian, Russian, and of course Spanish. Everybody takes Spanish, then German, and then all the other languages I just said.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and yet we're still terrible at language. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but that's a topic for another episode.
But Croatia is doing great.
Yeah,
everybody knows English here.
Croatian people are really good at English.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised when like people spoke really good English in shops or in bars, but then we would meet random neighbors who would talk to us in English, or somebody of like certain age that you don't expect them to know English, but they would still talk to us in a quite okay English. We would communicate.
Not everybody speaks English, but when people do, it's fairly decent. Like really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
France would never.
Yeah. Georgia too. English is like the most studied foreign language in Georgia, but still like people older than 25 or 30, it's most likely that they just know like few phrases and that's it.
Actually, our German teacher was super committed to our success in the last exam. So she totally illegally gave us a list of words before the exam of oral comprehension. She gave us like 5 or 10 words to know, to succeed, wink wink, for like some national exam. And when I arrived for an exam, there was a girl who was like, I googled all those words. I found the Angela Merkel. I found her exact speech. It's between 1 and 2 minutes, which is the exact duration of what they make us listen to for this kind of exam. So yeah, can I say that our German teacher rigged the exam for us?
She stole the speech from Angela Merkel.
It was like just like for the last 5 minutes before going into the class, the room, she was like, okay, this means that, this means that. She's saying this, that. She summed up what she was saying, and then we actually had that. Like, oh, it was amazing. I think I had 17 out of 20.
Wow, impressive. Why not 20 out of 20?
I'm not that good.
Not sehr good. Actually, not in my school, but I also studied German for 4 years, but I don't remember anything. I started when I was in the 7th grade and continued till like the 9th or 10th. I don't remember. But it was in Goethe Institute and it was designed specifically for children. It was called the Jugendliche course. So it was mostly based on like playing, and it had some elements of trainings and informal education. So basically I just went there for 4 years because I had made friends there and we would just play around and do really stupid stuff. And they also had a bunch of events. For example, they had Oktoberfest, Christmas stuff, and they would give you special tickets for food. And we were basically going and studying
We were feeding you?
Yeah, to get like free food tickets, so then we could eat like bratwurst and pretzels and stuff like that. And we
Enjoying
actually
Germany.
even drank Glühwein when we were like 14. And then we would get really special and really tasty Christmas cookies during the whole December when we were going there. So I was having so much fun.
But did you learn German?
No. And actually, for the first year, I was doing amazing, sweetie.
I'm sure you were.
Then suddenly when we really got into this German grammar, and our teacher had a rule of nicht Georgian sprechen, so you could not speak in Georgian like any point. And she would explain to us German grammar in German, but we didn't know anything. We didn't know the terminology. We were the Jugendliches, so... So we just basically stopped understanding, and then we couldn't even say anything because she just had to teach us in German. And as I already mentioned, my parents were super strict about grades, so I found teacher's book version that we got the tests from, and I found the test results and everything on internet.
Okay.
And that's...
No wonder you don't speak German.
And that's how I got the like good grades to bring home and say, oh mom, I got sehr gut. I'm sehr gut. That's what you have to do when your parents only require grades and not actual education. So parents everywhere think about it. But it was so much fun. My best friend is from that course. So did you do any extracurricular stuff outside of school?
Yeah, I did French boxing for 7 years and piano for 8 years and ping pong for 1 year.
Was it like an actual thing that you went to study?
No, they were actually like, ping pong is the hobby, tennis the table is the sport. French box is different from British box because it has feet and end. Like you can punch people with your feet. It's also different from Thai boxing because you can only punch people with your hands and feet. While in Thai boxing, I think you can use your elbows and your other part, like knees or stuff like that. And it's a cop sport actually. Like it's what policemen learn. Like that's how they fight. So yeah, there were a lot of policemen in this class. They were nice. I don't know. My first good experience with police. The last one. No, I'm kidding.
Subject for another episode.
Yes.
But I guess you know how to punch a person in the face with your
It's all
foot.
about the hips, actually.
Oh.
I'll teach you after the recording session.
At least if you don't use it on me, I'm okay.
Don't fight me. But no, it's a great activity. Like, it's actually like super complete. You do cardio. You have to be flexible. You have to have reflexes.
Well, I did 2 years of piano. But I didn't like it. I was pushed by my parents, so I just remember trying to study like stuff, and I would literally cry while playing on the piano.
Yeah, piano gave me like mental strength. Like these lessons of 1 hour of doing the same thing with somebody very close to you that is like mentoring you. I don't know why, but I feel like it was really like a whole process that gave me like some mind power.
That's great, because it like broke me.
Yeah, you either survive or you die.
Yeah. I did 1 or 2 years of Georgian traditional dancing.
Yeah, we both did boxing. Like some typical our country thing.
Yeah, and my parents wanted to enroll me in all this bunch of extracurricular stuff like Latino dances, ice skating, blah blah blah, but I don't know why I was never interested in stuff like that. I enjoyed Georgian traditional dancing. Oh, I even went to singing lessons for 1 year.
Oh, and hip hop. Don't forget your hip hop.
Yes. So when I was in the 3rd grade or 4th, I don't remember, I thought that I was this amazing singer, and nobody was telling me that I was not. I even had a concert. And then after like a few years later, when I realized that I'm not a good singer, like I'm not.
Don't you want to try now?
No. This microphone is too good.
I can do the beat.
Wait, no. Let me finish the story.
My bad.
So when I like first realized that I'm not a singer, I was like, oh my god, how many people were lying to me in my face and like clapping at my concert. Like, why would you do that? I guess it was good for my confidence, but the realization was super bad. But then when I was in 9th or 10th grade, the whole hip hop and breakdancing was a big thing. So I also tried that, but I'm like super clumsy, I'm uncoordinated, and I don't really learn the choreography super fast. Yeah, it was a fail. I went there for 2 months. I did not really get any of the choreo correctly. I knew some stuff, but I felt really cool because I was wearing like tracksuits and skate shoes and like sporty bag when I was walking around in the street. and I was listening to the music on earphones, and I was doing like the movements while going into the street, so I felt like I was the center of the world.
Sporty Spice much?
Sporty Spice, yeah. Or like Christina Aguilera from the burlesque when she's crossing the street and doing all the movements. So yeah, it was fun, but I realized stuff about myself a bit later. I'm a bit slow in that part. Yeah, since I quit the extracurricular stuff, but I feel so bad for my parents who had to pay so much money
for you to fail.
Yes,
and use your trust in other people.
Yeah, but at least I got a golden medal in my school when I finished it. We still have like the golden medal.
Yeah. But in what category?
Like in general in high school, because I had the highest grades. I was the valedictorian.
Oh my god!
No, we don't have that. But medal is not gold. It's been 6 years and now it's rusted.
They would give you anything to stop singing.
They were like, please shut up.
Your parents were really trying. This is gonna be the best podcast ever.
And for the first few years after I got this medal, my parents would put it on the shelf, like, and so when anybody would visit us, my dad would be like, see, our daughter got a golden medal.
She succeeded in something, guys.
But then it started to rust, so we took it down.
So that was our completely off-topic episode about education. Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you so much for listening to us. If you made it through this episode, also thank you so much. Please follow us on all our social media that is listed down below.
Bye.